Welcome back to the channel. It's the middle of a heat wave, so if I am looking like I'm exhausted and tired, that's the reason why. But I felt like I've been wanting to say this, but of course I've had my tooth issues, so I couldn't even talk and I couldn't do this. Now, there was this video that was going around, and now I can't seem to find the video. It was about a guy who brought some okay, sorry about this. My son went through this phase where he wanted to, write on walls. And yeah, I was not very intelligent at that time. So I didn't buy him something for him to write on. So he just went crazy on my walls. So I will eventually paint it, but well, for now, it's there. Anyway, so I I wanted to talk about this video that went around where a man, somewhere in the US, brought McDonald's for his son. So he has a son with a woman. They are no longer together. I don't know if they were married or not, but they're no longer together. And yeah, so he brought for his son, and the woman was mad because he did not bring enough for the other children. So the woman has four children, um, one with this man, the other three with different. I don't know if it's the same man or if it's different fathers, but well, so with this particular one, she only has one child. So the guy brought one Happy Meal for his child, and the mother was mad and started calling him names and insulting him and stuff like that because well, she felt he should have. She told him that he should have brought enough for all the four children, and he was like, "But only one is mine. Why should I take care of the other children when they're not mine?" And then the comments started coming in. So of course we're here for the comments, right? So half of the people, I would say more than half, were like, "He's such a horrible human being. How do you expect your child to eat when the other children are looking at him?" And then there are the other ones who are like, but it is not his children. It's not his responsibility. He's actually being a good father by taking care of his child, you know? He's reaching out to take his child and stuff like that. And um, it got me thinking because, well, I went into it with 100%. Oh, come on. She is wrong. I mean, in my opinion. I went into it with, she's wrong. He is not the father. He has brought his child something. Does that mean every single time he has to buy something for his child, he has to buy for all the four children? And do the fathers of the other four children also do the same? And so it was just, I went into that going like, come on. And then I realized it's not as black and white as that because so when you have a child and then you get into a relationship, the child, well, it depends on how the man is going to treat the child, right? So if the man treats the child like one of his own, when he leaves, when the relationship ends, then the child will feel abandoned. And if now this man comes and he only talks to his child, then it would make the child feel bad. But then again, this totally depends on how you, as the mother, had explained to this child what the relationship is, which is why I have a hard time with mothers who, when they, single mothers who, when they get into a relationship, then, okay, this is your father. Forget about the other ones, this is now your father. Because then the child gets attached knowing this is their father. And then another baby is born, and then it's, oh, yeah, so this is your brother. And yes, it is their brother because they come from the same mother, but it's very hard. It's not, it does not come automatically for the father of this second child to be attached to your other child from a previous relationship. And if the relationship doesn't work out, when he walks away, why should he walk away with the responsibility of the child who was not his to begin with, you know? I am very pro the relationship when possible, of course, because it's not all the time that it's possible. Some relationships just end and the father decides he wants nothing to do with the entire clan and everything. But I am very pro if the father, the biological father, wants to be part of the child's life, let him be part of the child's life. The simple reason for this is because that way this child will always know that it doesn't matter if you have 10 different men who come and go into your life, she has one stable feature. Like he can have the father, let's say John can have 50 different girlfriends in the course of this woman's life, of this child's life. Every single time she goes, she can meet a different stepmom. But he still remains the father, right? And I can have 50 different men who come in and out of my life. I can have 20 children with these different men, but I still remain his father, you know? So I feel like it's something, a bit of stability, that you bring to a child when they know that east or west, this is my father, this is my mother, and that's it. Everything else is just life being life. So I was pleasantly surprised by how much my thoughts about the issue changed. Really, I was. Um, anyway, so that's how I felt. So at the same time, a friend of mine mentioned also on Facebook, she said that, yeah, I've never understood women who get married to men who don't love their children. And I was like, I don't think it's a matter of love. I think sometimes single mothers get in their own way because you expect this person to be 100% the way the father of this person, of this child, would be. Now, I think there is the father can take on the responsibility and everything, but I don't think it needs to be compulsory. I think it would make more sense if it came organically. If he just felt, okay, I love you so much, and I see how much um you're struggling with your child, so I'm going to help you with the school fees. And I'm going to, but not, well, we are dating now, so just, oh, I kind of walked away a bit, but then now I'm back. So I feel like sometimes we women tend to get in their own way because you feel like, okay, I have to make all my children feel equal, but if they are not from the same father, it's kind of unfair to make this child feel as if they are an outsider. But there are other ways of neutralizing this, which are not necessarily financial. I had this conversation online with somebody, and her argument was um, her husband, she got married, and her husband had children from a previous relationship, and also they had one child together. And the children from the previous relationship, plus the one child they had together, was going were going to a private school. But her son from the previous relationship was not going to a private school, and she felt like that meant the man was playing favoritism. The man's reasoning was the children from the previous relationship were already in the private school when the relationship ended. And when they got this child together, he kind of already liked because they got the child together and then they got married afterwards. So this was already planned, right? And she is not financially in a place where she can actually afford to pay the private school. So she is not contributing anything to the private school that any of the children are going to. So the guy was like, adding another child, it's already quite tight now, and adding another child to that would be too much for him, because now that would mean he is paying the entire private school fees for all the children, and she felt that that was wrong. And the alternative that she was giving was not to withdraw her child, the one that she has together with this man, from the private school. Her alternative was all the children to go to the private school. And if they can't all go to the private school, then nobody goes to private school. Now, the children from the previous relationship, their mother had died. So the father really did not want to, I mean, he felt they had suffered enough. He didn't want to remove them from their friends. He just kind of wanted to keep anything that can possibly be kept the same to remain the same. So the children don't feel like they now you have a stepmother and you're being replaced. Your mother has been replaced. So he kind of did not want that. So he needed things to stay relatively the same for the other children. But this lady was feeling like, no, it just means that you don't love the child that is not yours biologically the same. And the man was like, I cannot work more than I'm already working. I cannot do, and her excuses were really weird. Oh, when I cook for everybody. I'm like, really? Cooking and school fees, two different things. Uh, so it was, so there are just small things like this that I feel like sometimes we overanalyze, and you want somebody to love your child the same way he would love the child that you have together biologically. And then the other thing I have noticed is those same women who say this, they're also the same kind of women who will say, if the man tries to discipline the child that is not their biological one, it will be, oh, you're just being harsh on this child because the child is not yours biologically. And yet, he's probably doing the same thing he would have done if this child was his biological son. So I feel like half the time we just don't really know what we want. We want to have it both ways. You want to be the nice, caring mother, and also I don't know, it's just us being complicated. Anyway, so let me know if you think that when it's a blended family, if you think that it's okay to, I'm not saying like discriminate to an extent, oh, we are going to Paris and you're staying at home. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, does it mean that if you're the father of one child or you're the mother of one child, you have to take care of all the other children in the family and treat them exactly the same if you are not even in a position to do it? Because another thing that I was figuring was this guy went and bought his child McDonald's, and maybe that's all he had. And my thing was, if this woman is like that, then it might explain why the other fathers don't, if they're not coming, that's the reason why they're not coming. Because if I don't have enough for 4 kids, then I'll just not come. So let's talk about that. Bye bye.